Hi students, in this class we see electrostatic potential at a point due to an electric dipole, right? Let us start. We know that dipole is a combination of equal and opposite charges separated by a small distance, right? So if you are having two charges separated like this is plus q or minus q, right? This is plus q, right? These two charges are, the center is, let us assume the center is O, this distance is A, this distance is another A, so total distance is 2A. This is center of the dipole, right? So I want to find potential at point P, which is located here or somewhere here, P, right? So the distance from negative charge to point P is, let us assume this is R2. The distance from center of the dipole to the potential point P is R. From positive charge to point is R1, right? Let us take this angle as theta, right? Distance from angle at center of the dipole to the point P. So if it is theta, we know that the total angle should be 180 degree. So this is theta, means this angle is 180 minus theta, right? So we know that dipole moment will always go from negative charge to positive charge. So it will be like this. Dipole moment goes like this, right? Okay, this is the thing we have to. So what we are going to do? We are going to do. We are going to find potential at this point P due to the dipole minus Q and plus Q, right? So let us calculate that, right? So what is the potential due to point P because of positive charge? We know that potential due to positive charge is given by, right, let us assume B positive. So we know V is equal to Q pi 4 pi epsilon naught R. R is the distance. So what is the distance between the positive charge and potential? It is R1. Similarly, for negative charge and potential point P is R2. So I substitute distance is R1. It is the potential at point P due to the positive charge. Similarly, potential at point P due to negative charge. Here P means positive, here N means negative. So it is known as, we know, okay, sorry, right? So it's minus Q, right? So this minus Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R2, right? So what is my total potential then? V total is equal to, see, for both Q by 4 by epsilon naught is common. So I take the outside Q by 4 by epsilon naught divided by into 1 minus R1 minus 1 by R2, right? So this is the total potential at point P due to the dipole. Let us assume this is equation number 1, right? Suppose if we assume that this point P is too far away from these two dipole, right? Suppose let us assume that these two dipoles are located at Chennai, and point P is located at somewhat Madurai or Trichy. So what is that? The distance between the two dipole is very small. Let us assume 2A is very small, or A is very small compared to this distance R. R is the distance between the center of the dipole and field potential point A. So if R, the distance R is far greater than A, that means the distance between the dipole is very less compared to the potential point from the center of the dipole. If that is the case, right, we are going to, what we are going to do is, right, we will do one manipulation. So let us assume this point is point A, this point you assume at point B, this is center O, right? So what is the thing we are going to find is, we are going to apply cosine law for triangle BOP. What is BOP? BOP is this triangle, right? So we assume we apply cosine law of cosine to triangle BOP. BOP appears like this, right? So it is B, this is center of the dipole O, this is the field point P, right? From center of the dipole to the field potential point is R. This angle theta we know, this distance is A we know, and this distance is R1 we know. This is the triangle we take. In this triangle, we are going to apply law of triangle. As per law of triangle, what we get is R1 squared is equal to R squared plus A squared minus 2A cos theta. How we are getting this? Let me show the law of triangle first, then you will understand. See, let us assume we are having a triangle like this. This is side A, this C, this side A, side B. This angle you assume that A, this angle you assume that C, this angle you assume that B. Then law of triangle indicates C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared minus 2AB cos C. So what is the thing? If I want to find one angle one side C squared, then like Pythagoras theorem, we have to take square of other two sides. So I want to find C squared. C squared is other two side is A squared, B squared, 2AB. The angle you see, it is the angle opposite to the side C. This is the side C. Opposite to that is angle C. Like that, here you see, I want to find R1 square. So I have to first find the sum of the square of other two sides, R square plus A squared minus 2RA, right? So sorry, I left 2RA. So because we know 2AB, so 2RA cos, see which side we have to find this angle opposite to R1. This is the R1 side. Opposite to that is angle is theta. So that's why R1 squared is equal to R squared plus A squared minus 2RA cos theta, right? So now we find R1 square, right? So now let us expand it. So R1 squared is equal to R square I take outside. If I take out R square outside, it will become 1 plus A squared by R squared minus 2 A by R cos theta. Right? So what I did? From this equation, I take R outside, right? If I take R outside, it will be 1 plus A squared by R squared minus 2A by R cos theta. Right? So this is another equation, right? What we assume that? We assume that R is far greater than A. That means R is very big, A is very small. So if R is very big means what happens? This denominator will be very big and the numerator is very small. If numerator is very small like 1 and denominator is too big like 100, what happens? The result will be very less. So we can neglect it. So this value can be neglected, right? So what will happen after that? So it will be R1 squared is equal to R squared 1 minus 2A by R cos theta. Fine. So this is R1 squared. If I take a square root of both sides, R1 squared square root is R1. Right hand side R squared is there, so it will be R 1 minus 2A by R cos theta whole power of root. Nothing but our root of 1 minus 2A by R cos theta. Clear? Okay. Now we found R1. Now I take inverse 1 by R1 because in the equation I have 1 by R1 only. So 1 by R1 is equal to 1 by R, right, into 1 minus 2A by R cos theta minus 1 by 2. Why I put 1 by 2? Because if x squared means, what is the inverse of x squared? 1 by x squared. that is equal to what? X power minus 2. Same thing, right? Let us assume these all is y power 1 by 2. Inverse of 1 by y power 1 by 2 is y power minus 1 by 2. Like that I am doing, right? So this is the equation, right? Now we know that a by r is less than 1, right? A by r is less than 1. Why a by r is less than 1? Because a is very lesser than r. R is greater than a. So numerator is a small number, denominator is a big number. Right? For example, numerator is 1, denominator is greater than that. So what is that? The result will be less than 1. Since a by r is less than 1, we can apply binomial theorem to the above equation. So what is the binomial theorem? We know that binomial theorem is, I go and use here. We know binomial theorem is 1 plus x, right? Whole power n is equal to 1 plus n by 1 factorial x plus n into n minus 1 to x squared. Like that it will go. Like that it will go. So what we have in our equation? We have this equation, right? This is 1 minus 2a by r. Because a by r is less than 1, we can apply binomial theorem. So 1 minus 2a r cos theta whole power 1 by 2. Sorry, minus 1 by 2. This equation, right? Both are same one, right? So 1 minus 2a by r cos theta power minus 1 by 2. So I apply binomial theorem for this. So what happens? 1 minus 2a by r, sorry, cos theta whole power minus 1 by 2, right? So equate. So what is the, instead of 1 I am having 1, instead of x I am having this parameter, instead of n I am having 1 minus 1 by 2. What is first one? 1. So no problem, I get 1 only, plus what is n here? N is minus 1 by 2. So minus 1 by 2, right, into, by 1 factorial is 1 only. X, what is my x? Minus 2a by r into cos theta, right? So minus will be plus. So what we get is 1 plus 2 to cancel, 1 plus a by r cos theta, right? So this is what? 1 minus 2a by r cos theta power minus 1 by 2. So what is my 1 by r1? 1 by r1 is equal to 1 by r 1 minus 2a by r cos theta power minus 1 by 2. 1 by r we know, instead of right? So what we are going to substitute? Wait a minute. So here what we get is 1 by r1, right? So left hand side we got it 1 by r1, right? So 1 by r1 is equal to 1 by r into, instead of this what we derived? 1 plus a by r cos theta we derived. That is equal to 1 by r1, right? 1 by r1. So instead of this 1 minus 2a by r cos theta minus 1 by 2, I substitute 1 plus a by r cos theta. 1 plus a by r cos theta is substituted, right? This is another important equation. Let us assume equation number 2, right? 1 by r1 we found. Similarly, we have to find 1 by r2, because v is equal to q by 4 by epsilon naught 1 by r1 minus 1 by r2. To find 1 by r2, we take triangle AOP, right? So what is the triangle? The triangle AOP. You see the triangle AOP is this triangle. And we follow the same procedure we did for BOP. So first we draw triangle AOP. So triangle AOP is, let me draw that. Okay. So this is my AOP triangle. A OP triangle. We know that this angle is 180 degree minus theta, right? This distance is R2, R2. This distance is A, this distance is R. We apply the same rule of triangle, law of cosine. So that means R2 squared is equal to other side R squared plus A squared minus 2AR. What is the angle opposite to the R2? 180 minus theta. So cos of 180 minus theta. Clear? Okay. We know that cos of 180 minus theta is equal to minus cos theta. So substitute that R1 squared is equal to R squared plus A squared minus 2AR cos 180 minus T, minus minus cancel. So it will become plus 2AR cos theta. Right? Right. Similarly, what we did for previous rule, A squared by R squared, we neglected less than 1. So we take what we are going to do, R squared, R1, this is R2, not R1. R2 squared is equal to R squared you take outside. Okay, I write it in next page. R2 squared is equal to R squared, I take it outside. 1 plus A squared by R squared plus 2A cos theta by R. We know A by R squared is less than 1 in the previous derivation itself. So this can be cancelled. So R1 squared is equal to R squared 1 plus 2A by R cos theta. Right? So simply, sorry, R2. R2 is equal to R1, square root of R2 squared is R1. 1 plus 2A by R cos theta. Root, instead of root I substitute 1 by 2. This is 1 by 2. Right? Okay. Now the same procedure, right? Again, A by R is less than 1, so we can apply binomial theorem. So apply the same way, what we get is 1 by R2 is equal to 1 by R into 1 minus A cos theta divided by R you will get. Right? Now we got 1 by R2 also. Right? So we add 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. Now we have to substitute in total equation. Right? What is the total general equation? General equation is, you see, V is equal to V total is Q by 4 by epsilon naught. 1 by R1 we found, 1 by R2 we found. Right? So we substitute in that. So 1 by R1 this equation, 1 by R2 this equation. Right? Now we find V total, that is given by Vt is equal to Q by 4 by epsilon naught. Instead of 1 by R1, I substitute 1 by R into 1 plus A by R cos theta. This is 1 by R1 minus 1 by R2 is 1 by R, 1 minus A by R cos theta. Right? So this we substituted. Now we simplify. This is 1 by R common. So we can take 1 by R outside. So it will be, wait a minute. Okay. So V total is equal to Q by 4 by epsilon naught. 1 by R I take outside. 1 by R I take outside. So it will be 1 plus A cos theta divided by R minus 1 plus A by R cos theta. So minus minus cancel. So it will be Q by 4 by epsilon naught R. What I have is here A. So 2A. This A cos theta plus A cos theta by R. So 2A by R. Right? So if you simplify, what we get is V total is equal to 2aq divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r square cos theta. This is the electric field, sorry, potential at point P due to dipole. But we know that P is equal to 2qa. Already we know in dipole. If you are having any doubt, please refer my video on dipole. P is equal to 2aq. So instead of 2aq, I substitute P. So V is equal to P cos theta divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r square. Right? So I can write P cos theta in terms of P vector dot r cap. Right? Why P dot r is equal to A dot B is equal to mod A mod B cos theta. Mod P is P only. Mod R unit vector R is 1 only. So instead of P cos theta, I can write P dot R cap. So V is equal to P dot R cap divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R square. Right? So this is very, very important. See, under what condition we derived this equation? We derived the equation with the condition that R is far greater than A. Under this condition only, this equation is valid. That is very, very important point. Right? Okay. Now, we use this formula. V is equal to P cos theta divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R square. V is equal to P cos theta divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R square. Right? Okay. Now, we have some 3 special cases. What is the special case? Let us assume that my point, see, in the problem we assumed that it is A, this B, that is here minus charge located, this is positive charge located, and we find a potential at point P here. Suppose this point located right side of the plus, this charge. What happens? We know that this is theta. Right? Suppose instead of this angle, it is located at here. That means this line comes here. So now theta is equal to 0. So if the charge lies on the axial line, we know that the line connecting the center of two charge in the dipole is axial line. Suppose if your point P is located in the axial line, the two right side of the charge, positive charge, then theta is equal to 0. Theta 0 means what happened to total dipole potential? Theta 0 means cos 0 1. So it will be P by, right, 4 by epsilon naught R square. Clear? Okay. Suppose if your charge located left side, instead of suppose let us assume it is here. Suppose my charge, my potential point located here. That means instead of this location, my charge field potential point is located here. Means this side means it is this side 0. It is starting. This location is 180 degree. So now theta becomes 180 degree. So theta becomes 180 degree means cos 180 minus 1. So now V becomes minus P divided by 4 by epsilon naught R square. So this is axial line, right side of positive charge. This is axial line, left side of the negative charge. Suppose instead of here or here, it is located exactly perpendicular in this point P. What happens? Theta becomes 90 degree. If it is located perpendicular, theta 90, what happened to V? Cos 90 0. So potential becomes 0. So in the dipole, if your potential point lies right side of the positive charge, what happens? The potential is V is equal to charge, positive charge, P by Q 4 by epsilon naught R square. Left side means minus P by 4 by epsilon naught R square. If your potential point is perpendicular to the dipole, then the answer potential at that point is 0. Very, very important. Right? So we found that potential due to dipole is what is that? V is equal to P by P cos theta divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r squared. We know potential due to point charge is Q by 4 pi epsilon naught r. So who is decaying fast? This is 1 by r squared inverse. So this is direct inversely proportional to 1 by r squared. This is inversely proportional to 1 by r. So potential due to dipole reduces so fast compared to the potential due to point charge. What is the reason? Point charge means we have only one charge, but potential due to dipole has it is all due to the two charge. One is positive charge and another one is negative charge. The potential created by positive charge is cancelled by potential created by negative charge fastly. So that's why potential due to dipole decays fast compared to potential due to point charge, right? So that's all about this session, right? If you are having any doubt, please ask me in comment section. I will clarify all your doubts. Thank you.